like a covering. They're covering the Almighty God. So they set the ark of God on a new cart and brought it out of the house of Abinadab, which was on the hill. And Uzziah and Ahiah, the sons of Abinadab, drove the new cart. And they brought it out of the house of Abinadab, which was on the hill, accompanying the ark of God. Ahiah went before the ark. Then David and all the house of Israel played music before the Lord on all kinds of instruments of fire, wood or harps or string instruments, on tambourines and sistrings and on cymbals. And when they came to Nakanda, threshing's floor, Uzziah, oh my God, Uzziah, out of act of love, thinking that he's doing something right, put out his hand. He put out his hand, my God, to the ark of God and took hold of it, for the oxen has stumbled. Then the anger of the Lord was aroused against Uzziah. We can think that we're doing something for God, but when God is displeased with what we're doing, instantaneous death coming. And God struck him there for his error. And he died there by the ark of God. And David became angry because the Lord's outbreak against Uzziah. David was mad. He was furious because the ark was not going to be able to make it to his house. Because guess what? Uzziah stretched out his hand and touched it and he killed him. And this is a part that I love what God says. In verse 9, it said, David was afraid of the Lord that day and said, how can the ark of the Lord come to me after all this?
And wanted it so bad.
He wanted it so bad. But I know so God wanted. There have to be a shift to get to where God wanted. He says, so David would not move the ark of the Lord with him into the city of David. But David took it aside into the house of Obed-Edom. Remember, the ark was in Abinadab's house before. And before that, there were struggles, and I'm going to get right into it now. Obed-Edom. So remember where we left off on verse 10. We're going back to it. So Obed-Edom is a biblical name which means servant of Edom. I asked the Lord, I said, who was Obed-Edom? He says, a servant of Levite, humblingly serving God from the land of Gittite. I said, why was the ark moved to his house, Lord? He said, because he was the chosen by me, which is God himself, not Marsha God. God chose them, but David did not know that until when error begins to make a turn, because God is making that shift to get it to where he wants it. So my question to you today is, what would you do if the presence of the Lord enters your house? What would each and every one of us do if the presence of Almighty God enters into our house? And it says 3 months the Ark of the Covenant was in in the house of Obediah. And while the ark was there, Obadiah received divine protection and blessings. Oh, my point is right there. If your house is receiving divine protection and blessing out of this norm, what would you do on a daily basis? Would you lay before the ark of God and middle in his presence and worship him in spirit and in truth? That's what Obadiah did. Important lessons of Obadiah was that he has an open heart to welcome God's presence. And the Bible said that he was a man of God. He was from the tribe of Levi. And the Levi were the chosen priests to carry the Ark of the Covenant. Because if he was not from the tribe of the Levi, the Ark of the Covenant would not end up in his house. But one of the things that God kept saying to me last night, he says, Obadiah have purpose. Just like every one of us have purpose in our life. For many things to be fulfilled. And that was a prophecy probably Obadiah received when he was a child, that the ark was coming to his house. Nobody know what was going on because the Bible only gives you bits and pieces to understand the full story of what's going on.